Hey, what is up YouTube? Andrew Rooney here, full-time drummer and drum teacher based right here in Auckland, New Zealand. We are back with a PayPal request. This one is for Dwayne. I just watched Zero the Hero by Black Sabbath and wanted to ask you to try Disturbing the Priest, the last track of Born Again. Oh my lord. Oh, that was on Lord, get it? It's on purpose though, isn't it? Disturbing the Priest, they're trying to trick you up. This time though, not a live or studio release, but the recently released demos. Hey, I like the sound of this. After Dio left Sabbath, it seemed like Sabbath couldn't repeat that success with the new singer Ian Gillan from Deep Purple. Should have had a home run with this album, but inexplicably, the released album had unlistenable mix, as you heard. The masters were thought lost, but Tony Iommi recently said they'd been found and would be remixed sometime soon. Yes! Thankfully, 40 years later, someone released these demos of the whole album and totally changed what was beep into something pretty cool. Disturbing the Priest isn't really a drum showcase, but really shows what the band could have done if the album was listenable on release. It's a shame Bill and Ian didn't return. Now, I think I've been told Ian Gillan and Ian Gillian. I could Google it. You guys hit me in the comments. All right, Disturbing the Priest starts at 42.57. PS, bonus points for listening to this version of Zero the Hero. Okay. PSS, Ian Gillian supposedly threw the tape out of his car on the first listen. What? That last one was a banger. PSSS. The Stonehenge song on this album and story behind the stage show actually inspired the Spinal Tap skit. Oh my god. I'm building this up. Big Spinal Tap fan. Thanks, Dwayne. Oh, listen to that hiss. It's beautiful. Love this artwork too.
Just gotta listen to the night at the ending of the day. Just gotta listen to the night as safely slips away. Moving out of sight are the things you need to see to feel. And as they slip away, becoming so unreal, unreal. You just gotta listen to the night as you're going upstairs. You just gotta listen to the night and don't
I like the vocals. Phrasing on those snares. The tempo is really floating here. Interesting.
Force of the devil is the darkness the priest has to face. Force of the night will destroy him, but will not disgrace. To get into his mind, into his soul, you gotta set a light. Flames of doubt so deep inside. The devil and the priest can't exist if one goes away. It's just like the battle of the sun and the moon in night and day. Force of the devil ends what the road so thin. Watch out for religion when he gets too near. With this building free.
Kidding me? This is dope.
Won't you please come to our knees? Do we mind disturbing the breeze? Not alone, not in peace. Your life is contradiction because of crucifixion. On the I'll take your soul and plant my seed.
I like this bit.
Let's try to get to the sky. Hang on, we're gonna die. So, not gonna turn sweet. Slim sweet child with a little smile. Watch his cruise me all the while. And when he cries, keep looking in the eye.
Oh, I don't know. There's been a few comments, I guess, against this album, mainly possibly from like the hardcore fans, and obviously there's going to be people who only like Ozzy. There's going to be people who perhaps only like Dio or only like Dio or Ozzy, and I don't know. But anyway, I noticed a lot of people had mixed feelings about this stuff. I think this is a bit of a hidden gem. That last riff, the riff on the fade out, and it happened once earlier in the song. Total Rage Against the Machine. Now people are going to say Rage Against the Machine copied Sabbath, not the other way around. I know that. I'm saying that is, you could draw a direct line from that to Rage. I don't know, whatever the guitar was doing and the sort of displaced drum groove, and it felt quite hip-hoppy. Even the vocals were sort of going like it almost had like a hip-hop kind of attitude to it. It's 1983. Hip-hop's well in the consciousness by this point. You better believe the rockers were checking out hip-hop and the hip-hop guys were checking out rock. Still happens, and you know, these guys are very open-minded. I'd be amazed if this wasn't at least somewhat influenced by what was going on perhaps in that early hip-hop scene. Anyway, that's a bit of an aside. I'm probably going to get crushed in the comments for that, but I stand by it. I believe that's totally true in that section, at least that section of the song. Dwayne, absolutely right. Not really a drum feature. Really interesting nonetheless. Really unfortunate that sort of mid to high range in the drums is pretty, it's not good, to be completely honest. Drum part's fine. The drumming sounds fine. It's just the sounds and the capture's not the greatest. Some good production on the vocals though, and multi-tracked, vocal harmonies and overdubs and all kinds of stuff going on. The guitar. There is something about Tony Iommi's guitar tone, his note choice, his attitude, his swag on the guitar. Gets me here, man. Like, I wonder if a little bit of it is nostalgia for me, because obviously talked about many times on the channel, I grew up on all the grunge stuff and, groups like Rage Against the Machine, which I mentioned before, and, the stuff that was, rock and heavy rock of my time. And those guys were obviously influenced by people like Tony Iommi, Jimmy Page, so there is going to be a lot of nostalgia, and there's going to be a lot of, I guess, sort of recognition, or, oh, that's maybe where that came from. You can sort of start to hear a lot of influence. There's just something so raw and brutal, and I don't know. Am I explaining myself well? Am I just sounding like I'm just talking nonsense? There is something about his guitar that just cuts right through you. It's so honest. It's so undeniably funky and cool and heavy. I guess at the end of the day, without overcomplicating it, he's just a great guitarist. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I really have dug the two songs that I've heard with Ian Gillan. Now, it is Gillan. Yeah, it is Ian Gillan. No I in there, not Gillian. I've really, really dug both of them. They've both got a very different feel and pocket. I guess possibly some of it has been a bit later in the sort of early to mid 80s. So there's a little bit of a different flavor, a bit of a different fashion and things happening in the general music consciousness at that point. But yeah, there's a certain sort of pocket and swagger about it that I really, really dig. Dwayne, we had a bit of a back and forth, and he followed up with this message. I'll read it out. Love your show and your take on the stuff. My daughter recently took up drums and renewed my interest, which led me to your channel. Pretty cool to hear a musically informed take on some of these songs from a drummer's perspective. Well, thank you very much. I actually play guitar myself and took for granted some of the creativity and style that some of these players employ. To me, Black Sabbath has such a visible frontman, and Naomi's riffs stand out so prominently. I agree with you there. Once you get past that, there is Geezer's outrageous bass lines. He's easily heard poking out here and there from behind the riffs during the solo, leading an intro. He is everywhere. Because of that, I had never realized just how much of what made the first few albums so special came from Bill's kit. I find myself listening to drummers now all the time, which has given me a whole new perspective on songs I've listened to for years. Not just Black Sabbath and not just rock. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Dwayne. Very kind words, and I'm so glad that you're back on the axe. Oh no, you already play guitar, but your daughter has picked up drums, and that's awesome. And speaking of sort of being made aware of different instruments and perhaps knowing what to look out for or listen out for in other instruments, I went to music school, jazz school here in Auckland, and we had to play other instruments. So I had to play a little bit of piano, played some tune percussion, played all different types of hand percussion and stuff over the course of 3 years, and vibes, marimba, different instruments. And the course was great. I mean, it was great to be in a total immersion music course anyway, but one of the real benefits of playing other instruments, or at least getting a bit more of a respect and awareness of other instruments, is it improves your own playing, because you start to realize what they need, what they're listening out for. Let's think of it in terms of like a working drummer. So I've been a working drummer for 20 plus years, where basically, obviously I need to get hired to put food on the table, right? And in order to do that, I need people to want to hire me. Now, drummers don't hire me. Well, drummers could recommend me, but they don't hire me, right? So it's actually other instruments that are hiring you, and other instruments that are looking for things from a drummer. Now, they're looking at things from a very different perspective. We tend to look we tend to look at things through our drummer goggles. My boy's going to love that one. You know, we tend to look at like chops and how fast things are and displacement and polyrhythms and all that. Other instruments often don't care about that stuff. If we put it really sort of brutally, a lot of the time, especially if you get hired for like a singer-songwriter or some type of artist, they want you to make them look good. And how do you make them look good? You provide really solid time and you play appropriately, you learn the songs. It's all those different things. You know, they're not really hiring you go, hey, can you play really complicated and I want you to blast polyrhythms and modulations all over my song? Like, you know, it doesn't really work like that. So there is this sort of back and forth and respect and different perspectives, and you get older and you get a different appreciation of things and you start to see things from different points of view. And you're absolutely right. With a group like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Rush, or whoever you want, The Police, any iconic group, Chili Peppers, there is just a certain chemistry that works. If you take one member out and replace them, it could, I wouldn't say that it would destroy the band. It just changes it probably more than you think. I mean, I've tried to think in the past of how Bill Ward would go in Led Zeppelin and how Bonham would go in Black Sabbath, for example. And they're very, very different drummers, although from the same area, same era as well. And, you know, the bands are not a million miles apart. They're they're in the same universe. Very different styles, and they'll drastically change those groups. The thing with Bonham is, and I've mentioned this before, he was just captured so beautifully on recording. And we've got those recordings, you know, forever, don't we? Bill Ward is such a special drummer to me now, and is a crying shame. And, you know, I'm going to have to go on a lifelong search for the masters get someone to remix them for me, because his drumming often feels like it deserves better production, better capture. It's not a critique or a judgment on whoever mixed the albums or whoever engineered them. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's just not, you know, especially when you're thinking of like a lot of their recordings were done at the same time as Led Zepp, and the Led Zepp stuff is so pristine and so funky and full. I always end up here. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is. And in some ways, it creates an even bigger mystique for me with Black Sabbath, because there is something hard to define and capture about Sabbath. Something slightly intangible. It's almost like it's gonna fall off, you know, it's constantly on the edge and gonna fall off. This is a little bit safer by this point. The 80s stuff's a bit more in the pocket and a bit fatter, and a bit more straightforward structure-wise, but the early stuff, like the first 4 or 5 albums maybe, that was really on the edge stuff, and it's just like this tightrope balance for the whole song with these different sections, and Bill Ward's part is just so beautiful and musical and jazzy, and yeah, it's just such a magical player, and so glad to have discovered him from people like you and all the subscribers out there who have requested and supported the channel and requested Bill Ward and Black Sabbath songs. But anyway, yeah, gone way off on a tangent, but you know what? I think these are hidden gems. I really, really dig it. Killer riffs, killer grooves. It's good stuff. I'll leave it there. Have a great day. Keep chopping wood. Take it easy. Ciao. Hey, what is up, wood choppers? Please do remember original video links, as always, in the description of each video. Please do go along, check it out, and support the artist. If you enjoy my channel, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, and leaving a comment down below with what you thought of this video and what you would like me to check out in the future. If you would like to support my channel further, I do have a Patreon. It's just $5 a month and you will get access to the blocked videos. If you have a reaction request that you definitely want to get on the channel, the only way I can guarantee that at this point is via the PayPal link, and it supports the channel. So thanks in advance. And remember, you, as a subscriber of my channel, you get access to a full and free 30-day trial over at DRUMEO. Learn from the world's best drummers and drum teachers, and they've got over 6,000 songs in the database, downloadable PDFs for those transcriptions, or you can play along, watch in the player, slow down, loop sections. It is truly awesome. Go check it out. 30 days free on me. Guys, until next time, keep chopping wood. Take it easy. Ciao.